as an artist, and when I tell you that they are bona fide, certified, real motherfucking deal, this is what we talking about. So, one more time for Ma from the Ma and Pop Show.
Hey,
and then Dame Smith.
Hey, what's happening?
The fam.
What's going on? What's going on?
You should right there. And I'm gonna get my actual seat.
Yeah.
I was just making sure it's understood.
Dope.
Thank you. Thank y'all. Make sure the mic on. That mic should be working.
Test, work.
It worked? Okay. All right. Make sure you change.
go down here.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Go check it. All right. And then you got yours.
All right. How y'all doing?
Yes. So
Play.
I'm gonna let y'all introduce yourselves before we get into the discussion. It's gonna be a quick little discussion because I know Dane gotta go to the show. And let's get it popping. Let's start with, my last words of Queen Latifah, ladies first. There we go.
I remember Queen Latifah when she first started. Nobody knew who she was, but that girl was on point. So I'm Ma from the Ma and Pop Show, Caustic Entertainment Group.com. That's what I'm telling you. And my daughter and I have continued to run our record label, Caustic Entertainment Group, after her father passed away some time ago, Glenn Johnson, Trouble Funk. And so we are hip hop heads, true hip hop heads. I'm from the Bronx, born and raised. Yeah, I scratched myself up out of there. By the time I was 16, I ran away. I was like, no, thank you. Let me do something else.
Right.
But I was there until 16. And also in Philly too, going back and forth. Okay. Mom and dad, were split up. So I had mom and dad. So I was in Philly. Philly was hot. With the hip hop. They came a little bit later on. But in the Bronx, I remember being about 7, 8 years old. And the block parties were amazing. So this was like 1972, 1971, 1972, when the block parties were in full effect. The DJs were taking all of the old school records and, like Flash and DJ Herc and a lot of the other DJs and mixing it in. Then I think it was a mistake on a scratch of a record. And then one of the DJs was like, wait a minute, that right there looked like
it worked.
We could do something right here. And they started doing that, and we was like, oh my goodness. So they was, zicka, and making the music either go, faster or slower on the turntables. So in Eatmore Projects, which is on Laconia Avenue, I went to PS 112. So that was a big project location where we had a lot of space to either get in trouble or create. So we decided that we seen too many people getting in trouble. So we just stopped. We didn't even know we were creating. It was just something that just happened. The universe was like, let me gear these babies. We didn't know we were poor. We just knew that we were part of the have-nots. But we had everything. So with the block parties, it would be the older, the older teens. They were like, 15, 16, 17. So they were about maybe anywhere from 8 to 10 years older than us. Those were the ones that got on first with the mainstream.
Right.
And so we used to have these extension cords that we would all put our pennies together and buy at a dollar store. And we'd either hook it up at the pole in the city. They had the plugs right there at the pole. They don't have that no more, I don't think. We were stealing electricity. And if the cops would come and shut us down, then we would take extra, and we would have to possibly move everything, and you would see cords coming from one of the houses, one of the apartments. coming down. So we lived in 3-story, but they had like up to 17 stories.
Right.
So we would plug the extension cords in if the cops would come around. Most of the time, the cops didn't give us no problems, but sometimes we had to use our mama and daddy electricity because we wasn't stopping. You couldn't stop us. We cut from a different cloth, people from the Bronx. We had to be hard. We had to be, we couldn't be sensitive. You know what I mean? You know, I'm growing up, I'm 7, 8 years old. You know, they taught us how to use razors, and my father's Puerto Rican. Hey, daddy. And so, you know, we lived a hard knock life for real. However, most of us came up out of it. The people that I know from the Bronx, you know, they either moved down south or they moved to a different environment because you are a product of your environment. And you keep seeing drug abuse, you know, robberies, people, you know, gangs, people killing, and you stay in that environment. You have 2 choices. You either get out or you stay in. It ain't no in between with it. Right. So I decided to get out. However, while I was there, because I was a kid and I had to be there, we made the best of it. So we created hip hop about 1971, 1972. So the dancers, so you know, you had the DJs, so they stole the electricity, that part. I think was a mistake on the scratching, but it became something wonderful. Then you had the dancers. Now, at first, the dancers were dancing on the concrete because we didn't really have that much grass. But they were scarring up themselves.
Right.
So they was like, well, let's do some sheets. Let's see who can put some sheets down. But the sheets was messing up, getting all in between it. So then somebody thought about cardboard. They was like, put some cardboard down because even wood would splinter. Yeah. But cardboard, so we started going to the different dollar stores or different stores because it was bodegas all over the place. And asking them for their boxes. Wow. And then we would put the boxes, you know, open up the boxes, put the boxes down, and the dancers didn't get jacked up no more on their knees and their elbows because they was doing the most. Now, at first it was stand-up dancing, but then they started using the floor and flipping and tossing and turning and spinning on their heads and you know, okay. So you had your dances. Then you had us, and you don't stop. We gonna rock until the morning top. You know, hip hop, you don't stop. And we were the ones that was on the mic. We would just make up stuff. You know what I mean? The color of your shirt, the color of your shoes. You know how we know we don't have a lot, but we still are a lot. You know, we had what you call influenced lyrics. It's a difference between rap and hip hop. And it's all about the content of the lyrical genius of it all. So you got rap music that got great, you know, music or beats or tracks, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But it's not hip hop until it's a message, not about my gold teeth, not about my fat ass, not about money. No, it's, you know,
it's over there.
It's like old school and show toes. I'm classic, prolific, linguistic. Pass the microphone, I'll leave your ear canal twisted, gifted. Philly roller, royal and control ya. Style so infantile, you need to push it in the stroller. You know, I never stole another man's thunder. Fools can't see me like Stevie Wonder. I'm underground. This just in, I'm kicking up major dust. There's no room for disgust. Broken English is the custom. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's a different type of lyric than "will shake my ass" and you know I got long hair and I got money and gold teeth. No, I mean, so when you're, just remember when you think about hip hop, it's different from rap music. Mm-hmm. So I could take that same track and rhyme my lyrics over it and turn rap back into hip hop.
It's all about the lyrics, is what you're
It's
saying.
all about the lyrical content. That's what it's about. So if you have good intentions with your lyrics, that's hip hop. I don't care how fast the beat is, how slow the beat is, the tracks. I don't call them beats, I call them tracks. But I'm a music producer. But you can call it a beat, boom, boom, bap, bap, the boom, bap, the boom, boom, bap, bap, the boom, bap. That's a beat. But when you start hearing all different instrumental sounds in a track, that's a track.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
And so we hit on the DJs in the Bronx, all different places, Fordham Road, Jerome Avenue, by the Yankee Stadium, Girard Avenue, the whole Grand Concourse, Laconia Avenue, Edenwald Projects, Auburn, St. Auburn Projects, the hospital that I was born in, Jacoby Hospital, they tore that down, but back in the day, there was spaces like everywhere around the Bronx where you just, on Saturdays and Sundays, sometimes Friday nights, but on Saturdays and Sundays, it was gonna be a block party somewhere. All you had to do was show up. And if you stand in line, just like in the open mics, how we do now, you get in line, and they're gonna give you about 16 bars. You know, you can't know a whole song. You're gonna do 16 good bars. And most of the time, I was on the mic. I tried to do the little dancing thing, but my knees and my ankles was like, nah, that's not just. And then I did attempt to be a DJ from time to time, and I learned how to scratch and learned how to be on the turntables. But my existence was the mic, was the microphone. Mm-hmm. And then I became a creative as I got older. My parents saw that, and then they started putting me like in dance class, piano class, vocal school, theater, and that's how I became a creative and an entertainer, you know. But the one thing that I can say is that everybody that came from the hip hop era, so I'm a 65 baby, so I'm 60. I was about 8 when, and probably younger than that, just didn't realize. But by 8, you kind of you can go places. You can, your parents kind of give you a long leash. It's a leash, but it's a long leash. So by the time I was 8, I was able to go 2 blocks away or to the next projects. And the projects are just the apartment complexes that, low income complex. So that was my memory, and us staying out of trouble. I think that music kept us out of trouble and gave us an opportunity to be creative in the have-nots community. Mm-hmm. And it was all good, and I love every moment of it. I tell people all this, where you from? I'm like, well, I'm from Venus, because I'm a love god, but they dropped me off in the Bronx.
Let's go.
To get me hard, to harden me up, to get ready for this world. You gotta get your kids ready for the world. The universe gonna get you ready. Now what you do with it is your will. So I was a tough little something, little light skinned, nappy headed, knock needed, little not a duckling. Then I turned into a swan.
Yes, wow.
Yeah, and now we run our record label, Caustic Entertainment Group. My daughter and I, Papa Duke, shout out. Now, my mother is also an entertainer for many, many years. Yeah, so it's 3 generations of us as well. Joan Cartwright, Dr. Joan Cartwright. So it's 3 generations of us. And you can read about that at Music Woman Magazine. musicwomanmagazine.com. So it's been a journey, and the suffering is always something that's going to happen with challenges.
Right.
So no matter how much money you got, what clothes you wear, you know, you're always gonna have challenges. The thing is to get over those challenges, create a situation where you're strong enough to make those challenges go away and take care of them, because next week is gonna be some more challenges. So that's what we figured out in the Bronx as babies. Then when we grew up, we started having our own minds, our own thoughts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, we was like, the school was boring. Even though I'm a college graduate, you know, school was boring. Ran away from home, pregnant at 16, homeless, domestic violence, you know, being on food stamps, all of those, you know, we go through the challenges. The thing is, where are we now? And how do we raise our children, the next generation, for them to be better than us? So that's what's happening in my life.
Wow. Man, what? I that completely. So before I get to you, Dave, as somebody like who is from the South, I'm from Mississippi, and so I've always encompassed hip hop from what I heard from Atlanta. Because so from Atlanta, and then you had Mississippi, you had David Banner, and then Louisiana, you had Juvenile and Lil Wayne and Cash Money and all of them. And then Memphis, you had 3 6 and Project Pat, and then Houston, you had UGK. So like I just encompassed that as hip hop, but when you broke it down like that, it makes sense.
And and some of the Southern artists are hip hop, like Outkast. That's hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff that David Banner, as he got older and he's more older, like now, you know, that's hip hop. But you gotta know the difference in the lyrical content. The lyrical content is what makes it rap or hip hop.
Okay.
Ice Cube and them. Some of the stuff that they were saying was hip hop, and then some of the stuff that they were saying was rap music.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? The positive high frequency is always hip hop. Now we got I can't even think of a song that we got that's rap music. But I'm sure we got at least one, but most of our songs on our record label are hip hop because it's positive, influential content.
Right.
But there were a lot of Southern artists that was talking about some really good.
I mean, I love Goody Mob. That's what my mom would play all the fucking time.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know, and it was real. Who's that peeking through my window? Pow. You know, like, stay away from me. That's some real, like, life.
Yeah.
You know,
life
don't mess with me and I won't mess with you. Stay over there. They talk about the beavers that squeal. You know, don't be a snitch. This is real content. But they also, like, with Tupac, that's hip hop. He talking about Dear Mama. He talking about, so that's West Coast.
Yeah.
West Coast had hip hop. They some of the gangster, they had some gangster music on their album and they had some hip hop on their album. They had to touch each market, not just do one particular. I'm not gonna do a whole album of Shake My Ass. All right, if I do one, I'll do one song. Maybe. You know what I mean? Maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I'm not gonna do a whole album of just bullshit lyrics. You can have 1 or 2 songs.
Okay.
You know, it's fine because you know, you gotta hit different markets with your lyrical content. Everybody don't want to hear positivity. Some people are low. I would say out of 100% of the people on this planet, 80% of the people are low frequency. Then you got the 20% of us that are high frequency, and we don't stand out because the low frequency is marketed.
Yeah.
So you got to understand that's why we're out there all the time, and we are letting people know that, you know, we exist. We're talking about Nas, Queen Latifah, MC Lyte. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
From Jersey to Mississippi to Texas, to California and all around the globe.
Right.
You know, us as the American people that created hip hop, we influence all people around the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you got white girls that want to have locks and you know that, and I said Caucasians, you know, because we're melanated people. They're Caucasian. At the end of the day, everybody wants to look and be like us and sound like us. We are the most influential melanated race on this planet because we were the first at everything, good and bad.
Talk about it, Mom.
Well, you know, because people be mad, Caucasians with the slavery. Who you think they got that from? Who you think owned slaves back in the Hebrew days when they was building all of those pyramids? Us. I already know.
Yeah.
We was the first slave owners. We was the first rapists. We was the first colonizers. We were the first people to take land. We were the first people that gave other tribes to the Europeans that came on their Ivory Coast and snatched our own people.
We did.
We're the first of everything. So and sold our own people to the Europeans to take them wherever the hell.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So always remember, let's not focus on the great grandchildren who are all of the rest of the races after us. Because that's who they are, our children. They follow what we do. They see what we do. They may do it to a more demonic influence. You know what I mean? Because they know they can get away with it. But my point is that like we were the first of everything. And once you know that, then you understand why people follow us, why they want to be like us. I mean, back in the day, you know, excuse my expression, you know, Caucasian girls didn't have no booty.
That's right.
They was flat as a board. We was the ones with the little donka-donk in the back. But now we might have been light chested and they had all of the boobies. But you know, when it's changed. That's how I know that they want to be like us. They wear weave. Well, this is my hair, but I'm just saying they wear weave. They get their skin tanned. They want to be my color. They want to be your color. So we're influencers. We always have been.
Yeah.
We are the first, we the middle, and we the last.
Yeah.
And everybody else is in between. So let's show everybody love and let them know, okay, well, if you're gonna copy me, I don't mind you copying me, but don't do it in a demonic way. Copy me to make me, as the Queen Mother, look better than back, you know, when, you know, people were like tormenting, you know, Caucasians were tormenting Black people, melanated people. I mean, I remember those things, you know, growing up because I grew up in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. So I remember all of that.
Right.
Our parents kept us away from all of that nonsense. You know, them damn lights come on. You better have your ass sitting right at them steps if you want to stay outside. Don't let me come calling you, and you know, because we must understand that we have to protect ourselves and each other, no matter what race you are, You know, I see the young people of all races and get along with all of them, share my music with everybody.
Yeah.
Share my influence with everybody. Let everybody know that you are loved and you should be respected. And so in the hip hop community, that's what hip hop is. Hip hop is respect. Hip hop is love. Hip hop is guidance. You know, it really don't matter what you wear, how you wear your hair. It's really not about that. It's your thoughts. It's your thinking pattern. That is a good influence for hip hop.
Appreciate you, my homie. I got my little thing. I have it set up. I can't even see. Couldn't see everything. I have like a little applause thing.
Hi, y'all. I love you.
applause. But now, Dame Smith, I met you at the Vital Movement, and you went off.
Thank you.
And you went off,
Appreciate
and I was like, this reminds me of all the shit my dad used to play. Because my dad was he was born in Flint, but we had family in Milwaukee. He had family in Milwaukee. So when you told me that you was from Milwaukee, I was like, oh, look at that. That's just the universe talking. So yeah, like I told you before, like when I would hear you when you got on that mic, I heard Nas, I heard Common, I heard all of that shit. I heard Slum Village, I heard all of it. So tell the people who you are, where you're from, and what was it like growing up in Milwaukee, which is a completely, totally different experience than New York.
She had a first, like, ground zero, first hand.
Right.
Like, while it was being crafted and made right around her. So we was from, we saw it from a little distance. But I'm Dame Smith, representing my partners in the fam. You know what I mean? So I'm from the 70s, BC, before crack. The days of putting on switchblades before gas. 3/4 leathers with big feathers and straw hats. You looking back at old pictures like niggas wore that. So that's where I come from. I'm from that era, similar to my era. So we saw hip hop. We fell in love with it from a distance, as I said. And some of my first memories was probably seeing Blondie and that remember the video she had with Fab Five Freddy and stuff in it. Rapture.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa. Like, whoa, you know what I mean? And I don't know if everybody's familiar with that, but y'all know Deborah Harry, Blondie. Anyway, back in the 80s, she had a video called Rapture. And hip hop was really nowhere, like in the mainstream. So if you saw something hip hop related, you was like, whoa, what is this? This is ours. Wait, what? You know what I mean?
Right.
You didn't see that kind of thing. And it was a white lady that was introducing it to us, you know what I mean? Whatever the case, right? So, Grandmaster Flash, The Message, all those things, we're living vicariously through the images that we're seeing. Now, at first, there weren't any videos, we just had albums. So we didn't know who was who. Think about it, you didn't have the visual, you had an album. You went to the record store and got an album. We listened to the show, Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick. We listened to that 90 million, thousand, zillion times, looking at the album cover, not knowing who was who. Right? You know what I mean? We didn't know, till videos. Like when I saw I Ain't No Joke Rakim video, I thought Eric B was Rakim and Rakim was Eric B.
I did too.
Because the DJ who was most important at that time, his name went first.
Yeah.
So I assumed Rakim was Eric. I'm like, oh, that's bro. You know what I mean? But anyway, yeah, man, it was such a, we came out of listening to, I think the good part of us being our ages is that we got to witness music before hip hop, and we have a vast array and library of stuff to draw from and remember before it was all hip hop. Like younger people like your age and our kids and whatnot, they grew up and were born in the world of hip hop.
Yeah,
we weren't. So we listened to all of the old tunes that ended up being sampled to make new joints or whatever the case. So one of my earliest memories, man, is in grade school. Grandmaster Flash them had White Lines out. You know the song, White Line,
Yeah.
One of the dopest hip hop moments. I went to a school, I was a part of the Chapter 220 system. Basically, that was forced segregation. This is the 70s.
Okay.
So that's when they was segregating the school. When they were desegregating the schools, was something in Wisconsin called Chapter 220. So they were busing the kids from the inner city to the outskirts or whatever. And the outskirt kids were supposed to go that way. It didn't go that way. We went out there. They didn't come in. At any rate, so it was like a community of black kids way out here in this suburban school in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's where all the black people at anyway, right? Mostly in Madison. Whatever. Anyway, there was a moment I would never forget. Mr. Jan Rose and his teacher. We was the class was too noisy, too loud, right? He wanted everybody to be quiet and stop moving, right? He was like, freeze! And every black kid in the room said, rock! Because that was a part of the song, freeze! Rock! If you listen to the song, y'all know White Lines, you know what I'm talking about. But that was like, it was ours. And every other person, white kid or very few Latino kids or Asian kids, they didn't know what in the world we was talking about because hip hop was ours.
Yeah.
It wasn't on TV, wasn't on the radio. If you saw something on TV, it was super rare until it started growing and growing and growing. as I said, we lived vicariously through them while it was happening. We listening to BDP, The Bridge is Over, and all that. We don't know what the bridge is. We don't know what that is, but it's a dope song. We like, The Bridge is Over. We don't know the beef between, the factions over there. We don't know that.
Right.
We just knew dope music.
Yeah.
And we started seeing it, more and more. We started, it came out. We saw that era coming out of Grandmaster Flash them with the tight leathers and the spikes to Run DMC them making it cool. LL Cool J making it super cool. It's like, yo, this is the dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, dude, I spent so much of my life watching Crush Groove. One of the dopest movies, Crush Groove and Wild Style and all them things. We was living through those movies because we in Milwaukee. So we ain't getting subways and all the aesthetics of New York and what created hip hop. We ain't getting none of that. But again, we lived through that vicariously, man. And it just took off. Like we was done with rock and roll. We was done with R&B. And I'm gonna tell you a moment. Cool J had an album called Bad.
Right.
Michael Jackson had an album called Bad. The new generation, we hip hop. We off Michael Jackson now. We're actually off Mike, and we into hip hop. Cool J got a line in one of his songs. Do you like Michael Jackson? We like Cool J. Like he made it known. Like the new generation is about rap. And the R&B and Mike Jack, that's over with kind of for us. We on this new thing. You know what I'm saying? So I was able, I think, blessed to be born in a sweet spot of music, being able to see, how this hip hop thing grew, being in high school and the battles happening, like in the mini part, like the stuff that you see now, the ciphers or the battles, whatever. We was doing that in school. We would write rhymes all day long at school because the battle was after school. Such and such versus such and such. It was like title matches or whatever. And the crowds would gather around, security would come through the crowd like it was a fight. The security busting through the crowd, and there's two cats giving it up, just rhyming. It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful, man. I'm so glad I was a part of that and was able to witness that, firsthand and not be told about it. You know what I mean? I'm so glad to see the songs that are classics now. We were around bumping them when they were brand new songs.
Yep.
The summer of '88 was one of the dopest summers ever. That's when EPMD, Rakim, PE, everything that's classical now in hip hop was new.
That's legendary.
Think about it.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It was a new song. You got to chill. It was a new song.
Yeah.
I Ain't No Joke was a new song. Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos and everything PE was doing were new songs, and that was our soundtrack to everything. That was the soundtrack to our independence. As she said, that leash got longer. When you 15, 16, you out the house now. Your homie got a car. Your homie dad let you use the car. You know what I mean? So the weekend was out. Boom, that part. But in Milwaukee, it wasn't, we caught the bus because we had to. But as you start to get older, it ain't cool to catch the bus. It's different up there. Commuting situations is way different. In Milwaukee, you gotta have you a whip, bro. You can't be on no bus.
My dad had a Cadillac.
See, that's where, you know what I'm saying? That's Milwaukee. That's the Midwest, where the Cadillacs roam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I relished some times. I loved them times. And then when I kind of threw my hat in the ring, all my homies was MCs. And I was like a closet MC. I would write my rhymes and not really talk to folks about it because all my dudes was the premier MCs in high school. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I was a late bloomer. I ain't started rhyming till almost out of high school. Mm-hmm. You did. So I graduated in 90. So that sweet spot from 86 to 90, dog, it's the golden era. It's what we call the golden era of hip hop right now was what we was living and breathing. Yeah. From the fashion, there was a couple of stores that started popping up in Milwaukee that they had the New York fashions. You could wear what the rappers wore. Yeah. Bally's, Wallabies, you know what I mean? Wu-Tang for us didn't put Wallabies on the map. We've been rocking Wallabies since kids, you know what I mean? We call them hustlers. Anybody that's watching this that's from Milwaukee, especially Milwaukee or the Midwest, they call Wallabies hustlers because the D-boys, the dope boys wore them. You know what I mean? The cats out on the block wore them. So when Wu-Tang started doing, I'm like, damn, niggas is like us. You know what I mean? There was a connection there, and how they was rhyming was so dope. But at any rate, I'm blessed. I feel blessed to be able to see all those different eras and to be able to contribute and to be able to bridge those gaps and be somebody your age could like and somebody my age can dig. Yeah. That's my goal. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be an old fogey. Some cats is our age shouldn't be doing. They shouldn't be doing it, man.
Like who?
You know what I mean? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of somebody who like, nah, you need to give it up. Shoot.
No, don't say no name.
No, what? Yeah, I will if I think of it.
Yeah.
But it's similar to the characters in the Five Heartbeats. Remember the two older rappers that kept coming up with these different gimmicks?
Yeah.
They look like that. Like if you're doing something that's not age appropriate, you're corny. If you're our age, you still talking about chicks in the club and selling dope, you're corny.
Right.
So I can't think of the names right now, but if that's you, then that's you. You know what I'm saying? You're corny, man. You need to get up there and you need to be talking about what's relatable, but it's still gotta be funky. You know what I mean? I talk about my spiritual journey. I talk about my testimony through my music and just talk about my life and make it rhyme and make it relatable. It's gotta be funky. Don't nobody wanna get preached at. It's gotta be dope. So when you talk about Goody, you talk about Outkast and folks who had those serious messages in their music, it was still dope.
Yes.
It was still, it wasn't preaching. I get turned off like, man, I don't hear that. No, it's still gotta be dope, man. It's still gotta be funky, man. So yeah, man, I'm like, look, no other genre, no other art form has these age limits. You know, you always have this ageism conversation. You're not too old to be a visual artist. You're not too old to play the piano. Rembrandt and Michelangelo, all them niggas, they did what they did till it was done. Rock and roll, the Rolling Stones is 1,000,000 years old. They still too dope, still banging young chicks, still touring the world. They still get it.
Still
like,
playing the same songs.
you know what I mean? And what's
Actually, they just released an album like not too long ago.
You see what I'm saying? And what's disheartening is that their audience follows them, and then their kids follow them, and then, you know, they travel with them. But our people, I don't even know. Me and my man's was talking. I don't even know how many of our legacy artists can sell out stadiums right now. Who can do that? Like the Rolling Stones.
Nas.
Who can do that?
That's on
Stadium.
Nas. That's on the president. Wu-Tang. Nas.
Yeah, it's a few people.
They crossed over with.
Yeah. Jay doing it this weekend, so Jay got Yankee Stadium or whatever. He can do it, but there aren't enough. There are people. They got a song that they made 100 years ago that's still cracking. Jimmy Buffett, till he died, was getting paper off Margaritaville.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so our stuff seems more disposable. When you ain't got the latest hit out, they ain't messing with you. But now there's that new energy of the artists, you know, the vet artists making dope music.
Yeah.
And it's better music, and people are coming back. So when you hear that, we done with the disposable. You can't eat candy as a food group. You can't eat candy all the time. You gotta have some meat, potatoes. You gotta have some substance, and that's what we gotta have vegetables, even if you don't like it. You know what I mean? But put some cheese on it. You dig what I'm saying? You dig what I'm saying? So that's the cheese is the funk, is the funkiness of it. You gotta be dope. Stories and being up on stage and being the age that we are, or else they're gonna be like, man, who's this old nigga? And I've experienced that. You know what I mean? I experienced like people like, who's this nigga, man? And then I get up and do my thing like, oh, okay, bro. And I don't know if that might have been your thought. Who was bro? Or whatever the case, but I've experienced that, and I like winning people over in that way. Like, yo, bro, you was
you did. I was blown the fuck away. I was like, who is it? You're right. Who is this? This man, my age. I know he my age. I know when you said 90, I was like, I'm absolutely right. She graduated in 90.
See?
So I appreciate both of y'all for coming here and sharing y'all story. I'm coming in with one more question before I get to my demonstration. So AI is here. And AI, artificial intelligence. I remember not too long ago, Freddie Gibbs talked about he was sitting in the studio and folks were using ChatGPT to write their rhymes. So as people who, you know, individuals that came up at the very beginning who watched hip hop, you know, go through its changes, go through, you know, the golden era, the commercialized era, and what we're in right now. And now with this invention, this massive proliferation of AI, what do you think is the best thing for hip hop to do? Like, what can hip hop do to stay hip hop?
I mean, you know, you got to change with the times. I remember when we was burning CDs. I mean, I had a machine literally that bust out like 8 to 12 CDs at one time. That was our analog. Then they wasn't selling CD players no more.
Now you're back.
And then, well, when they stopped selling CD players, what did we have to do? We had to go digital. We had to go streaming. So to me, I don't care how you do it. Just do it with good intentions and do it with the right high frequency and make sure that you're giving good messages. Because it's already 80% of the people out here that are giving jacked up messages. So if you're going to be part of that 20% that's going to be high frequency, give good information. It's artificial intelligence. Go look it up. That means it's not real until we make it real. So you either gonna make it real with positive influence or you gonna make it real with negative influence. I mean, the negativity is out there. Yeah. In my space, in my circle, somebody come through the door, somebody come in my space, and I feel that low frequency, I drop the ball because you don't want this gorilla to come out. It's a 400-pound male silverback gorilla inside of me. So I stay in my pink. I stay in my high frequency. I stay in my love. You know, because they taught us early how to fuck a nigga up. When we was 5 and 6 years old, we was carrying around razors because we had to protect ourselves. So we learned real early how to fight, how to, you know, so now the fight is not the physical fight. The fight is the spiritual fight.
Oh, yeah. Nailed that.
Even though, yes, I do carry mace and yes, I do carry, because I'm too old now to be trying to, and I do kickboxing too, so I can Bruce Lee a nigga if I needed to. Come on now. But I'm just saying, it's a spiritual war. And in the spiritual war, you have to put yourself in a position when that low frequency comes into your area, into your neighborhood, into your family. Move away. You can't change nobody but you. So if I walk into a store and I hear somebody arguing, I walk out. If I go and get me some gas and I hear something that's like, you know, too much low frequency, I get back in my car, I get the gas going because I don't already paid for it. But I get in my car, then when it's done, I look around, gotta keep your head on a swivel. And just remember that you can't change nobody but yourself. So you're the only one that can change the situation that you're in. So with AI, because I don't really use that. I Google something to find out something. I don't really get on like GPT, chat, and I don't get on that stuff. I rarely get on social media. I be on it, but then I don't. You know, I get on, like with this event, posting, I'm live streaming, we got my subscribers, hey y'all, love y'all, you know, on MJTV Network, they're there, but I keep myself so very protected from the outside world. I can't change nothing outside of me. Nothing. I raise my children raising their children. That's my people, that's my circle. I got a small circle, but these are big people. So a lot of them get on the AI and the different artificial intelligence situations. Hey, yeah, I stream my music. I go online, I promote our record label, of course. You know what I mean? You have to promote yourself. You have to promote your shit. Yeah. But at the same time, you gotta protect yourself from all of the rest of the information that's coming in that may not even be good for you spiritually. Because your mental, let me tell you something. You can protect yourself from guns and butter. You can protect yourself from the police. You can protect, but when you don't protect your mental and your spirit, that body gonna shut down. So protect your, like they say back in the day, protect your neck.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So, and the people around you, and when you see something that you be like, that don't look right. Like, you know, I'm not trying to be funny, but if it's a whole bunch of melanated people and then one Caucasian person comes in, I'll be watching them, just like how they watch us. I mean, because you just don't know, like, what is your, who do you know here? Who's in your circle here? Now, I love all people.
Yeah.
As long as they got love, I got love.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes we get into these circles that make us feel uncomfortable. So the AI thing, it doesn't make me feel uncomfortable, but it's just like, it's not something that I like literally got to do in order for me to be successful. Because we run many different businesses. We have a property management company, cleaning service. We got our record label, our television network, land development. We building land, 3-story, unit. I guess it's time for me to be landlord. Over in Asheville, so we're doing a lot of different situations to create the generational wealth. You don't always have to be on that grid to create your generational wealth. Learning about compound interest, putting money in your savings account and just letting it sit over there, building your annuities, your stocks, your bonds, your life insurance policies, your will, your trust. All of that stuff is right online for you to learn, but you don't have to be online, like literally with the phone in front of you, like, yeah, this is what no, do it. Work your generational wealth. And if you need AI or that internet, the information is out there, go get it. I learned so much from Google and they call it YouTube University. Yeah. I done learned how to doggone fix a tire. I done learned how to put oil in my car. I know how to change my oil. I know how to, it's just stuff that, like, you would be like, I don't really want to do that, but it's easy. It's all online for you to learn. So I like the online presence. I love that. Back in the day, you had to go to the library to go learn some stuff.
For real.
You had to do it.
Yeah.
Or while you was in school, or you had to get the encyclopedias that maybe your grandmama might have had from when she bought the 52 count encyclopedias. And you go and you look. That's how we was learning. Now you just go to Google and you put in, I want to know how to fix Alfredo.
Right.
And they get bam, you get it's so much content. So I like that about the AI and online presence. And as me, I'm 60 years old. And what I've realized is that I've seen so many changes, let's say in these 50 years, because for the first 10 years, I was just like, whatever, I just want to eat, sleep, and have fun, and go to the park.
That's right.
But once I got like 10, 11, 12, you become more mindful of what you want to be when you grow up, all of these different spaces that you need to be in and don't need to be in. And I would say in the last 50 years, I've seen so many changes. Mostly I've seen changes for the good. Because now they got it where you can't really get away with a lot of fucked up shit. Like back in the day when people used to get away with a lot of different dirty, grimy shit. Right. Like now, everybody got their camera on. Everybody is the big brother in the sky. I'm glad. I like to see the police going up and down my street. That's what I'm paying you for. Cause then I ain't gotta worry about nobody coming into my house and I'm gonna have to do something to you. Cause it's gonna be you, not me. Cause that's my mentality. That's how I grew up. That's why I'm always looking around me. I'm always making sure that I'm, especially for women. Women keep their heads down, their phones and in the mirror. Nah, nigga, you need to be keeping your head on swivel, especially if you cute. Cause somebody will snatch your ass right up while you on the phone talking about, yeah, I'm at Nigga, why you telling people where you at? Like, I got all my locations off. The only reason why they know where I'm at right now, because we're live and I put the information out there for people to come and join us as they will. But it's only my circle. There ain't gonna be no crazy ass person that's gonna come up in here. But guess what? If it is, we all protected like Obama up in this bitch. I'm telling you right now. Because, you know, you can say, oh, she cute, she light skinned, she got long hair, cute. Nah, nigga. This is a gorilla inside. And I protect my people and I protect my space. So even being online, you still gotta protect your space. You gotta protect your spirit. You gotta protect your mentality. Don't be following everything everybody doing like that. Yo, and I'm gonna tell you another thing too. So people be like, yo, all of this bullshit, they come up on my thread. But that's you following them. If you don't follow them and you block them and you don't follow them, they won't come up on your thread.
Yeah, that's how that works.
I mean, because the stuff that comes up on my thread be influential stuff. Maya Angelou, you know, I love the Farrakhan's. I love them. I love, there's a couple, you know, like the South African young babies, baby, they not playing. Right. Them South African leaders over there, they are not playing. You gotta go and look them up. They getting all of that evil up out of the country, up out of the motherland, you know. So that, I'm knowing that, you know what I mean? So we learn a lot, but you don't have to intake all of the bullshit. You don't. You only intaking it because you following them and that's what you like. You know that comedian Godfrey, where he say leave black people the fuck alone? Right. He come up on my thread. Food, because I love to cook. Food come up on my thread. All kinds of different ways to cook all kinds of different food. Every now and then I like to see the cats and dogs and the animals, they be doing the most, stuff like that. But when I see something come on my thread and it be like, bullshit, you know, and look, I don't need to be looking at nobody with guns and killing and shaking ass and look, that's not part of my mental stability. Mm-hmm. So if you see, because I hear that a lot, so I'm just letting people know that bullshit content is coming up on your grid because you're following them. If you don't follow them, it won't come up on your grid. And if you see it come up, all you got to do is block it. So the AI, great. I mean, it's going to be more. Now that I think they're talking about, you know, making artificial people,
yeah, they got it already.
You know, robots and stuff. That's fine. Do you, you know, but just keep that shit over there because I like human beings. Not many of them, but you know, some. But you can't trust, even though these species that they're creating are programmed to do exactly what the programmer says. You know, I don't know if it's gonna be a robot in the room and that motherfucker might decide that they'll start shooting up the place because I don't know, he don't feel more human than us. I don't know. I'm not taking them kind of chances. I don't even want to be in the room with that shit. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. So I don't have to be a part of it, but I already know it's part of the world. I'm not part of the world. I got my own little world. And when you find your own world, you don't have to be a part of everything that's out there. Just take it all in stride and be good to yourself. Think positive thoughts and don't let nobody fuck with you. Don't let nobody abuse you mentally, physically, emotionally. If you see a red flag come up and somebody talking to you like dirt, man, you better turn around and walk away. Look, I know women like to nest. In the words of Judge Judy, they be so desperate that they'll take any kind of situation, you know, just to blow the back out, whatever the case may be. You gotta go around on the other side. So protect yourself. You gotta go around on the other side. You gotta go around on the other side. Yeah. So protect yourself. Protect your people. You know, we're all in this together. And even if it's just the 3 of us or the 5 of us, you know, that are in this room right now, I guarantee you, if anything go down, oh, I got your back when it comes to protection, because I expect for you to have the same for me.
Yeah.
Because them first dudes, the first thing that's going to happen is these 2 men going to stand up and push us to the bag. That's the first thing, because that's what melanated men do.
Right.
But however, if I see that you getting a little fucked up, I'm jumping in. I'm jumping in.
Thank you.
Shit, all right, you got it. I'm gonna let you get it. But if I see you get one dude, well, oh, I'm jumping in. And that's not just physically. That's emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You know, not just physically, but definitely physically. Because I'm not gonna sit there and watch my people get hurt. So when you protect yourself on all different levels, you're gonna be all right. Everything, you know, all is well.
Yeah.
All is well, and you gotta know that you are safe. You gotta know that you know you have to have good intentions. Life is great. Cause these 20, 30, 40-year-olds, I'm like, how you doing? They like, I'm tired. I'm like, how the fuck are you tired? Like, you ain't even, God damn, in 10 years, I'm gonna be 70, and nigga, I ain't never said I might be tired of you saying you're tired. Cause back in the day, we used to be like, look at that old tired ass bitch. Damn, that bitch tired. It's not a good word. Like, watch your words. You know, maybe you might just need some recharge or some rest, you know. But these young girls, not all of them. They, you know, I'm 30, 40 years older than them, and they just, you know, dragging their ass on this earth like, bitch, get you a life. Like, hold your head up, first of all. Stop eating all of that bullshit you eating. Make sure you drinking you some water, and stop picking the wrong people just because they dick you down good. That don't mean that they're the best person for you, or vice versa with, you know, the other side. That don't mean that they're good for you just because, like, the sexual experience is good. There's more to this life than that. And that's a part of it, because we got to procreate, and, you know, we got to do our thing, you know what I mean? Right. But I'm just saying, like, enjoy every day. You know, these holidays that come up. Nigga, you can't program me on what day to celebrate my mother. Right. I celebrate my mother. Every day is Mother's Day. Every day is Father's Day. Every day is my birthday. Every day is turn up day. Every day is New Year's Eve, and every day is New Year's Day. So I wake up every day. When I get home, I'm about to have me a couple of shots of Jose Cuervo, get in my kitchen, turn my music on. I got a fucking disco ball in my shit. And I'm turning on my music, and I'm gonna cook. Do it. Every day is a holiday. Stop being programmed. Like, this is this day, this is that day. All they want you to do is just spend up all your money. And then you end up broke as fuck. Take that money, put that shit in a savings account, and let it compound interest. Go and listen to that Warren Buffett. He gonna give you some fucking information. That Warren Buffett give you some information.
He got rich by accident.
Let me tell you something. It's all in years of compound interest. That shit ain't no overnight, you know. So learn about that, you know, and keep your head up and keep your laughter and your spirit high. Yeah.
I would say on that AI tip, too, like she just said, we see changes. We've seen them go from albums to sets to CDs to this to streaming to that. But not that it's gonna pass, because it ain't going nowhere. It's only growing, and it's getting more integrated into our everyday life, to the point that the Skynet situation is really real on the Terminator side of things, right? Yeah. But as far as on the music side and this AI, keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. Keep rhyming. Keep not rhyming to the vocals when you somewhere. Keep that authenticity, you did.
Right.
Keep breath control, keep rocking stages, keep writing, don't be getting no assistance. I don't even agree with, I mean, whatever it is, but I don't even agree with like people contributing on a rhyme. Like, dog, I got it. You know, you may give me an idea or something to think about, but I don't need you to, I'm good, bro. I can write.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't need the chat GPT situation or whatever. Like I said, Freddie was in the studio and seeing niggas do that. Nah, man. So you said, when you ask what to do, keep rocking, keep doing, because the authenticity is going to shine through. We can hear on Suno and other things, you can hear an AI song. You know it when you hear it. The singing, you know, the vocals, like, nigga, nah, them robot vocals. Nah, that ain't a real human. You know what I'm saying? So you can see the difference, even though it's, you know, proliferating in our everyday life or whatever. Keep rocking out, keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Use the tools though. Don't let the tools use you. Use the tools. You know what I'm saying? Stay human. Use the tools, man, because they're here for us to, you know what I mean, for us to utilize, but don't rely on that. You know what I mean? It's almost like I don't cook, but I know how to put everything in the microwave. No, nigga, you know how to cook on the stove, real fire and all that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I got a tip though, man, because I gotta go run it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This has been a dope conversation, boy.
Yes, shout out to everybody on the Patreon. This is the panel discussion, the Live Mind Pop Show, and Dame Smith.
Yeah.
We're about to get into, hey y'all. We're about to get into the live demonstration.
Man.
And it'll be recorded. So
I'm gonna check it out. I know you're about to get out of here in a little minute to go back to Mississippi, man.
Yeah,
so do your thing. I hope to see you out here again on something.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be back around. But thank y'all for sharing y'all story, y'all
You're welcome.
and just engaging with me on, because this is my life. I love DJing. I love hip hop. So this is what I do.
Okay, make sure you playing hip hop when you say hip hop.
Yes, ma'am.
When I walked up in here, that wasn't no damn hip hop.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you gotta get it right now. Get it right.
All right, now I'm up out of here. It's definitely good. So I've seen you before. We never met. I've seen y'all rocking out before.
Absolutely. All right.
All right, now take it easy.
Take care.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay.
All right, for the road. All right, now how y'all doing? All right, y'all cool.
All right, y'all.
Oh yeah.
All my beautiful people. Hey, y'all. Love you. I see y'all on the other side. I had told Craig and them about to go to the house and party like a rock.
Who did?
Love you. Thank you.
Oh, hey, what's happening, brother? I'm on my way right now. I'm picking up my guy. I'm on my way right now. Word up, brother.